when I talk about my mental health with, I guess you could say, my parents, they don't see it from my perspective. And, I guess some parents say, just you don't have anxiety, you're still too young. Until you're a parent, you have anxiety or you have too much stress. And I guess that's one thing that they don't really see, from my perspective, is how much work I'm doing and how much effort I'm putting into that work. And they just see me, like, if I were to do a homework, they just see me doing homework. But I'm, putting too much effort in that. I'm putting too much of me into that assignment that, it may cause me stress. It may cause me too much anxiety. I guess you could say I'm grateful for giving me food, house, shelter, home to live in. But, I guess they don't really accept what I think, what I believe. I want to be this when I grow up. They try to, you know, they try to make me believe. They try to make me want something else. They're trying to control me as if I'm a little puppet.
Hello and welcome to the Taking Off the Mask podcast. My name is Ashanti Branch, but today is not about me or the regular show. Today is our first episode with our new youth host. You met him a couple of episodes ago, Wenceslao. I am so proud of him in this episode. I really think you're gonna enjoy this episode. I mean, maybe you've always wondered what would it be like to hear young people talking to each other, like when they're really talking to each other, when they're not like sitting next to each other in the car, but on their phones, but when they're really having a conversation. Maybe you wonder what things they say and what things they talk about. But in this conversation, it starts off with the mask and it starts off with the game, the adventure. And then they go on a conversation that is beautiful. I'm really proud of what Wenceslao has done, is pushing himself and really encouraging Angel to go even a little deeper himself. You're going to hear in 2023, this year, you're going to hear young man Wenceslao quoting from a book called The Prophet by Kahlil Gibran. I don't know if you've ever seen this book or heard of this book, but Wenceslao was given this book during the restoration retreat, and he read it. And he's quoting this book. He's like pulling out sections of this book that that stood out to him about friendship, about connection, about being seen. Man, I mean, I definitely, as a freshman in high school, wasn't reading a 100-year-old book that I know of. But I'm really proud of this conversation. And I think that this season of the youth face-to-face is going to be so powerful because young men are taking their voice and letting it be heard, and taking charge and doing it their own way. You may hear him typing in some ways, and I think sometimes he's looking up a quote from somewhere. I don't know what all that was about, but I do know that he is making it his own, and I'm really proud of this first episode. And please, if you have a teenager in your life that you want to encourage, that you want to like see what they're talking about or thinking about, maybe you invite them to be a part of this episode. Maybe you invite them to share and listen to it. Maybe they don't listen to podcasts. You can send them to our website, but you can maybe invite them to make a mask. They can make a mask at millionmask.org. One picture, 6 words. We really encourage you to share it with somebody. I mean, where were you as a freshman? Were you interviewing people, making podcasts? I don't think many of us were, but maybe you were. But maybe you can be inspired by Wenceslao just as I was and I am. And these two young men actually had a conversation a year or two ago, and we're looking forward to at some point sharing some of those clips so you can maybe even re-sharing that episode so you can see how much growth they both have had over the last year plus being a part of this organization, but also being a part of their own development and growth. So welcome to Face to Face, the Taking Off the Mask episode with our youth host, Wenceslao, and his guest, Angel. Please enjoy today's episode. See you soon, folks.
Welcome, everybody, to my first podcast hosted by me. And today I got a special guest. My first guest is Angel Rodriguez.
Hello.
So we're gonna do the mask. We're gonna do a card game, and then we could do some questions.
All right, sounds good.
All right. So Angel, you wanna introduce yourself? Talk about you, how old you are in school.
I'm Angel Rodriguez. I go to a school in Alameda called Alameda Science Technology Institute, and I'm 15. I don't really know much to talk about. I'm taking college class right now. I guess that's something I can
That's good.
mention. All right.
Yeah, that's
And
good. All right, so we're gonna start with our figurative mask. So if for those of you who don't know what this mask is what we're drawing is this figurative mask where you draw the front side is what you show people. Like I could show people that I'm happy. I could show people that I am very smart, very athletic, and the back side, the back part of mask is what you don't normally let people see. Probably it could be anxiety, it could be depression, like something that you keep to yourself. So how do you want to do? You want to do front or front back and then front back? How do you want to do it?
I guess we can just do like the front right now and then the back after. And then,
All right.
all right.
So
I only own graph paper near my desk, so I didn't own that. Oh, it's
okay.
backwards. I forgot about that. All right, I made a little theater mask, a happy theater mask, and the words are cheerful, kind, and energetic, because that's what I try to be around people, and it's just like kind of the mask I wear around people of just happiness and excitable, I guess.
Cheerful, kind, and energetic.
Yeah.
All right. So the front mask that I drew is happy, smart, and explorer. I like to be happy. Try to be happy as much as I can. Smart because I am, I want to do good in school, do good in other places, and I love to explore many things. I love to do many things. So yeah, I'll do the back.
All right, and for the back, I wrote stressed, anxious, and well, I guess anxious and worried are basically the same, but yeah, stressed, anxious, and worried.
All right. Stress, anxious, and worried. What do you
Oh,
like?
just to
What's
elaborate.
yeah? Like what
Stress.
makes them?
Stress is kind of the easiest one to explain because just school and college classes are hard, man. And
Yeah.
for just anxious and worried, basically the same. I have a problem where I feel like whenever I'm happy, something bad feels like it's gonna happen, so I can't really. I'm always worried and stressed that something's gonna happen, and yeah.
For the back of the mask, I drew anxiety, stress, and not sure what to do. So, I got a lot of anxiety with many things, as I talked to Ashanti last episode. I have some like social anxiety, like meeting new people. Stress, because I'm pretty in college is stressful. High school is stressful, but college I'm pretty sure is more stressful than high school. And really stressed, because I got many academic stuff. I got school. I got this podcast to do that I accepted. I got some extracurriculars, which is like a program that I'm in college track, which is kind of important to be in. And I'm not sure what to do. Like I'm not sure decisions to make. I'm not sure what if I should choose this or that, or should I just stick with one thing. So now we're doing the adventure card game.
Right.
So what we're gonna do for the people who don't know this is that so there's this card game. It's usually physical, like a game, but I don't have it with me quite yet. which is there's people. Hey, Andrew, you want to help me explain this? No?
I have
It was
really bad memory, but I'll try my best. It's like you have people and you're supposed to save them from a specific place, and you do that by you draw a card and you have to answer the question on it, and it's like you got points for each question you answer, and the harder the question is, like emotionally, I guess, to answer, the more points it is, and you have to get a certain amount of points to save the people, right?
Yeah.
All right.
See, the harder the questions are, the most critical thinking you have to do.
Oh.
It's the same. So I got the cards here in front of me virtually. So there's like 4 cards right here. Angel, you want to say a number from 1 through 4? So I just pick one.
Big fan of the number 4. Number 4 is great.
A characteristic of myself that I don't talk about much.
I don't really talk about like most of my personal hobbies, I guess, to family and friends, but like the big one, I guess, is I like going to new places, I guess, and just like the feeling of not like I guess it's not a good thing really, but like freedom, I guess, like people don't really know where I am at that moment. I don't have responsibilities to like be a certain person at that moment. I can just do whatever I want, and like no one's gonna care about what I do at that time, I guess. That makes sense. And just I can do whatever I want because no one's gonna be able to judge me for it, and no one even knows that like I'm doing that at that moment, I guess. Just the feeling of freedom that you get when you're like alone and you're able to just go wherever you want, I guess. Yeah.
What places you want to explore? Like, what do you want to
Um,
go?
I've done a lot of hiking nearby, I guess, but that's not a good thing to do alone most of the time. I've really enjoyed just like exploring the city, I guess, and staying to the main streets. And like here in San Leandro and Alameda, I do that a lot, where I just like take public transportation to an area that I only know like a little bit, and just looking around for a good while and trying to memorize the roads and everything.
That's good. A characteristic of myself that I don't talk about much. It's probably like being able to learn about something, that isn't, necessary for me to learn, that, it's just like an extra thing you want to learn, like I love to learn a lot, people, I'm nerdy, I guess you could say. I don't, some people tell me I don't look nerdy, but I guess I'm nerdy. I love to learn many things. I kind of like school, I guess you could say. But and sometimes, there's like too many things, it's like too stressful. But I love to learn many things, in school and on my free time. I love to, search some things up, search, my questions, I guess you could say. But
Just
yeah, I
yeah,
love
just
to learn, I guess.
sorry. Just like learning for the sake of learning, I guess. I get that.
Name a relationship that recently started.
Oh, okay. This one's actually great. I went to during the winter break to celebrate my mom's birthday and mine because like school was starting up and like winter break was over. Went to this little winter cabin, and my mom invited some friends over, and the someone my age went there, and we played ping pong a lot, and we're still talking now, and it's great. They're great. We went to an arcade recently, and I got a little eraser bird, very small, and yeah, it's great. Just I like having new friends, but since I go to school in Alameda, most of them don't live nearby, so it's nice having someone like cl- close by, I guess, that like knows the same places you've been going to since you were a kid, like knows the same area, I guess. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
nice. It's different.
see. For me, close relationship. That's probably at the program I'm in, a new program that I just started called College Track. It's to help you with college. They pay for college, and you gotta be present to do many, learn about it, like learn the process. And there's I just started this week. And yesterday it was the last day. It's the people from college track around from my age. We got together. We learned about each other. We learned what we're gonna do, and I guess you could say I just met a few people. I already knew some. I just either went to school with them or I just knew them beforehand. I guess you could say I just talked to some new. I met some new people. And I guess you could say I kind of faced my fear of like social anxiety. I just, went up to people and I just talked to them, and they're really nice. So I guess you could say people. This program. Do a number from 1 through 6 this time. Let's see.
What? You got more? All right,
Yeah,
then.
there's a,
Do I not choose the same number twice? Do
if you want to, they're different.
5, I get. Wait, are these different like sets every time?
Yeah, they're like different cards.
Oh, the number 4 again.
1, 2, 3, 4. How are you different when you are alone or with others?
I have the thing where like I try my best to like act like a there's not a good way to explain it. Like act to the vibe of the group, I guess. Like if I'm with people who are like really jokey, or if I'm like in a study group, I guess very different like people, I guess. The way I'm expected to act, I try and change how I am with them. Like family gatherings, I guess I'm usually a lot shyer than I
Code
would be
it's
with like.
like code switching, right? I'm pretty sure it's called when you like code switching, person switching. Some of that is when you like change how you act and how like your personality with certain people, right? So
Yeah, because like when I'm by myself, I guess it's weird to admit this. I like to talk to myself in singing, but that's not like I uh I'm a lot more jokey, I guess, just by myself for some reason. I it's hard to get comfortable around people who just like say whatever comes to mind, like it is when you're just alone. I can just I write notes, I guess, a lot to myself, and just like being able to write that and then look back on a later day, like what was my mindset at the time, and like just I guess just like a lot more introspective, and with people, I guess I just go with the flow instead of just being able to think and do whatever I want, I guess, when I'm alone. And, none of that made sense, I guess, but okay.
yes, no, it does. So you're just someone who likes to joke a lot, you know? Is it?
Yeah, I'm usually a jokey person, but talking to people, unless I like know them really well, is really hard to do, and it's difficult to get into that like jokey personality if I don't feel comfortable with people, I guess.
For me, it's quite the opposite. I like to goof around when I'm with people, and I get serious when I'm alone. I love, I like making jokes. I love to, hang out with others, have laughs. When I'm alone, I get more serious. I just focus on when I get home, I just, go to my room and just do homework, and do my chores and stuff, and just work out sometimes. I'm a bit more serious when I'm alone. I don't know why, but yeah, that's something. You want to
Okay,
do one more?
sure.
All right. Let's see. Is it okay if I choose one?
Yeah, go for it.
I'm gonna choose this one. What are some things you feel that you wish you could say out loud?
To people, or like just in general?
In general, like
Uh,
probably to yourself, probably to other people. Like,
I don't know. I'm usually a really closed off person with like who I am, I guess. That's not really but like my hobbies and like what I think about certain things, I usually don't like speak up about it. And I feel like I shouldn't do that more, because it's really easy to just be quiet and not like talk to anyone about anything important, just like only be that mask, I guess is the only word I know for it. But like it's a lot easier to be friends with people, I guess, when you're not like always having to put up a front, I guess.
mm-hmm.
So just like being able to speak up more about like what I actually think about things, like who I actually am and what I'm like, I guess.
For me, it would be probably some questions like for you. If I were to say, what is like deep questions, I guess you could say is like, what is what is love? What is like some people here are seeking for an American dream? What is the American dream? What is exactly the American dream? What is no. I guess you could say I just focus on questions like myself that I ask myself. Is this like I'm trying to find like the real truth? I guess you could say, and that's what I say. Like ask other people. Like if I were to ask you, what is the American dream that people are looking for? What would you say?
Um, I feel like the American dream is different for most people, but like for me and a lot of people I know, it's mostly like security, I guess, like being able to live a life without worrying about like what is gonna happen in the future. Like, am I gonna have to worry about like I don't want to talk about it, all stuff, I guess, but like worrying about work, worrying about jobs. Like, eventually, I have to go to college and I have to get a degree if I want to get a good job. I guess it's always been ingrained to me. I guess that mindset of just like you need to keep working just in case what happens if something like wrong happens. Like, just a feeling of security, I guess, is the American dream. I guess I don't know if that's more my dream than the American dream, but that's what I assume it is for most people. I hope.
Do you think like people do get the American dream? Like for me, the American dream is being stable, like not worrying about losing money or with like rent and stuff, financial stable, owning like probably a house, owning something, right? Owning a property, having your own car, and having security like that. Those four things is
Um,
for me is the American dream, but I don't think many
I
people are truly going to that direction or accomplishing that American dream.
I
Me.
feel like it's really easy to like mistake the American dream and your dream, because I feel like I the feeling of security is something that I've always like felt is what I want eventually. If I that's really my dream, but like what everyone wants, I guess, is hard because like you're always gonna want more, and like I don't think that's true for some people, but for a lot of people, like wanting more, I guess, and like the feeling of security isn't what everyone wants, I guess. And
Hmm.
I feel like it's hard to like distinguish a single American dream if most everyone's unique, really. So it's hard to see what everyone wants.
I guess you say that. It's so yeah. What do you? How's? I guess we could ask some questions now. Like
All right.
talk about something.
Um.
You want to ask a question about like
I
stuff?
should have thought about this and prepared first, I guess. All right. Are we doing like deep stuff, or are we gonna do
If you
like
want to,
surface
like
level and go into deep stuff like a long time?
like we're only 20 minutes in, and my podcast, the Ashanti was 44 something minutes.
Oh Lord.
So I guess we're halfway there.
Uh.
Make some time.
All right. I feel like what's a good question to ask actually?
Like what's going on with you? How have you seen everything once you are aging? Like for me, once I'm getting older, I see many things in a different perspective. I see things with that I ask myself, why is this? Why is that happen? Why is that there? So I'm probably asking you a question. Like once you're older, do you see many things from a different perspective than when you were younger? And then like, do you ever question it or just have like a? For me, it's like I have something sometimes against it.
I feel like as I've gotten older, I feel like it's gone from like I have very bad memory and I don't remember a lot from when I was a kid, but I feel like as I've gotten older, I've gotten like to realize more responsibility. I guess that's an easy way to answer it. I guess, but there's more to it. Like you are responsible for like stuff like school and like you have to do this stuff now, but I feel like responsibility is just like you having to realize that eventually you're gonna have to do this yourself, and you're gonna have to. You can have support, but at the end of the day, it's your choices that lead you to where you are. And I feel like as you get older, you have to like. I don't think you have to. I think it'd be better for some people like lean into it less, I guess. But like having to not really be independence forced on you, but I feel like it'd be good for people as they get older to just more independence is something that people should get alongside the responsibility of getting older.
like maturing.
Yeah, because like I feel like it's not good if someone just like as soon as you turn 18, just you're an adult now. I don't really like that mindset because you have to like ease into it, I guess, for some people, and it wouldn't really be good to just like force that responsibility on someone who's not ready for like adulthood, I guess. That's it's really
Yeah.
easy to derail a
Do you
question.
think you have grown a lot since the beginning? Like, or like, do you think Ashanti or the Everflow Club has helped you a lot to grow yourself?
Oh, I didn't mention it, but I've been with our Ford Club for like 4 years now. I probably should have mentioned that when I was introducing myself. But yeah, it's helped a lot because mental health is something that's really easy to just ignore, I guess, for me. And it's not led to very good things when I have because I have a problem with ignoring my issues. But um, like Everford really made me think about like I'm someone who ignores their problems a lot when it gets hard, and like thinking about where is this gonna lead me, and like I should do this if I don't want to hide behind a mask forever. I want to like be normal with these people and be myself with these people. And I feel like I derailed the question. Okay, can you ask the question again? I'm bad at answering specific.
Like, like
Oh,
how's like Ashanti helped you,
um,
or like the Everflow Club, and like how have you seen yourself grow since?
um, with our Ford Club, I feel like it has given me a lot of responsibility, and like Ashanti's good because as I've like I did the internship last year, and then this year with the not the summer before last summer I did the internship, and this summer he gave me more responsibilities. He like tried to ease me into like being more of a leader in my role, which is something that I've never really been good at, but he's trying to help me with it, I guess. And just getting help a lot with like mental health and learning like how my mental health is and like what's going on, I guess, for most people. The big thing is like you are not alone, I guess. Like other people go
Yeah.
through this, it's common for everyone, and it's a lot easier to not like get caught up in it and ignore it and like think of yourself as something that you're not, I guess. When you know that other people are going through this, you know that you can reach out to these people. It's yeah.
Speaking of you're not alone, why like you mentioned that you code switch a lot, you act differently depending on what people you are. Why do you think that's a big thing that people do? Like, why is code switching a big impact? Probably negatively or positively on people nowadays.
I feel like it's not a I don't want to say it's not a bad thing because it's good to be yourself around people, but like for me, I guess it's the feeling of like not being odd one out. Like it's not good to not be who you are, but for me, I don't like being like with new people. I guess not fitting in and like people not liking you is something that is easy to worry about, but it's kind of hard to not get caught up in it and like go too far with just being a people pleaser instead of just like focusing on yourself sometimes. And I feel like I need to work on that, I guess.
Do you got like someone who you like just be yourself, like a friend? Like I got like a best friend who I could be myself, be really, I guess,
Yeah,
weird.
I have someone who like knows a lot about who like knows me a lot instead of like just different masks, but like with him, I met him like while wearing the mask while code switching and just like acting differently around him. And then just over time, I just started leaning more towards who I actually am with him. And I feel like that is an okay thing to do. And I, I think that like, while I shouldn't have to do it, I feel like it's okay for me to do it with some people.
So I'm gonna read you this quote of the Prophet. The book by Kahlil Gibran. I think that's how you say it.
Is that the one they
I
gave
had.
us at the retreat? Or
Shh.
all right,
So there's many quotes about this. There's a prophet who personal that who he got asked many things. Speak about love, speak about death, speak about passion, punishment, judgment, and this one's talking about friends. And this one is, kind of, I guess you could say, I really thought about this one. Though there's many quotes I thought about, and this one, friends specifically, that says, "And let your best be for your friend. If he must know the ebb of your tide, let him know its flood also. For what is your friend that you should seek him with to hours to kill? Seek him always with hours to live. For it is his to fulfill your need, but not your emptiness. And in the sweetness of friendship, let there be laughter and sharing of pleasures. For in the dew of little things finds the heart finds its morning and it's refreshed." So I just thought about this quote specifically because you should let friends be you should always be grateful, like time. You should be grateful of the time you spend with them, for me. And they should always be, let there be laughter and sharing of pleasures. It's always, when you hang out with them, it's always to have a good time, and not have a bad time. Always
I
being.
sorry to interrupt, but like,
Sorry.
I feel like with that, I feel like it's good to have friends who you always go to, like, to relax and to like be yourself, I guess, and to have fun. But like with my best friend, I guess I feel like the reason why we're so close is because like he knows what I've been struggling with, and he knows how to help me with that, and I know the same for him, I guess. And it's like I go to him a lot just to relax and have fun, I guess, but I also go to him a lot when like I'm doing badly, I guess, with mental health, or if I need help with something. And I know that he's able to do the same. So I feel like that's also a really important thing to do with yeah, your friends.
Yeah, I think when, like, I guess best friend. Once you say, I like, sometimes I just say it not to, like, probably not let him know, just get it off my chest, just take it outside. But like, I just don't want to tell just anybody, right? I need to tell someone specifically who can keep it with them themselves. I guess when you say something, but like, probably went bad, I just say, I just had a bad day today, maybe this happened, and I think once you say that, you get it off your chest, it's a good thing. You got, I guess, you take out space for the bad things, and you try to store space for the good thing. you know for me, just saying something that went negatively bad for me is just, I guess, a relief, and grateful that someone's there to help me with the bad things that went with me.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I get that. Like having someone there to like help you, ig- not ignore, I guess, but deal with the bad things going on and just help you feel good, I guess, instead of just staying in that mindset. But I feel like I don't disagree really. Actually, like, just it's always good to have someone there when like you know you can go to them and they can make you feel better, and it's not usually good to like dwell on. You should reflect on like your mental health and everything, but I don't think it's good to just like stay in that mindset of just feeling bad, I guess. Simplest way to put it.
I think, the minds of today kids, teenagers, probably my age, younger, is become more like bad. People, I guess social media has taken us away. Like people, like I use social media a lot, and I guess there's many sides to social media, and one of those sides could be the mindset of today kids. After using social media, like social media, anything could be said, anything could be shown in there, and I guess the mindset of today is really going negative, throughout these years and for years to come. Uh, there's like if someone said something bad, or negatively about me, like saying that I, just like insult, I guess you could say. Like some people who aren't used to it are gonna like take it really personal, and it might affect their morale, their mindset. It could, and for like me, like if I get an insult and I'll just ignore it, and it may affect me, but I guess the mindset of today is really today people the people the mindset, the health of the people today is really bad, I guess you could say. And mental health is something to be focused on, something to be uh prioritized, I guess. But so when I talk about my mental health with, I guess you could say, my parents, they don't see it from my perspective. And I guess some parents say, just you don't have anxiety, you're still too young. Until you're a parent, you have anxiety or you have too much stress. And I guess that's one thing that they don't really see, from my perspective, is how much work I'm doing and how much effort I'm putting into that work. And they just see me, like if I were to do a homework, they just see me doing homework. But I'm, putting too much effort in that. I'm putting too much of me into that assignment that, it may cause me stress, it may cause me too much anxiety because, they, um, I just lost my words.
Um, I can't really continue what you're saying, but I get that feeling because like with a lot of mental health struggles, I guess, and just like it's a lot harder to do work for me sometimes. Sometimes I just get burnt out. Sometimes I just have no energy during the day, and it's a lot more difficult to like express it to like my parents or my teachers. Like there's not like I wasn't sick. I did get sleep, but like I just could not do it. And like it's a lot easier to just like call it laziness, I guess, but sometimes just like there's some reason or another where I cannot force myself to do it, and like putting in the effort to do that just for it to be treated as just a normal assignment. Like I do this every day. Why can't I do this now? It's something I've had
Mm-hmm.
to deal with a lot with my schoolwork, and like it's really hard to like talk to people about that because it's just easy to just blame it on laziness, I guess.
Yeah, it's just, I guess parents are supposed to talk about the same topic, but try to shift it a bit. Parents, they say that they are there for you. I don't think that we have to give them all, but they have to give us not all to us, like they give us everything because they decided to have us. They and they say you gotta give me a lot from you, which makes sense. They expect a lot from you, But this other quote from the book that says, "You may give them your love, but not your thoughts, for they have their own thoughts. You may house their bodies, but not their souls, for the souls dwell in the house of tomorrow, which you cannot visit, not even in your dreams." So I guess you know, they try to, I guess you could say I'm grateful for giving me like food, house, shelter, home to live in. But I guess they don't really accept what I think, what I believe. I want to be this when I grow up. They try to, you know, they try to make me believe. They try to make me want something else. They're trying to control me as if I'm a little puppet. You know, and I guess you could say that's what parents are really taking advantage of. I guess you could say, like they're taking. I guess you could say sometimes they could abuse their power too much
I
by
feel
like
like
trying to
I'm
control
sorry.
you.
Um,
Sorry.
I feel like with some parents, like I know that's true for some parents, but like I feel like a lot of it's either just ignorance. I guess that's not a good way to put it, but like it's a lot easier to just like not really easier, but like when I've talked about it, like it's you've there's not a good way to put this. Like just not knowing about like mental health struggles and like the specific things, and like I feel like with some mental health like problems or even just like I deal with a lot of anxiety, but like I brought up like during the like middle of the quarantine about how like anxiety started to be really bad for me, and like
Mm-hmm.
it took all the way until like around now for it to start being taken seriously, and I feel like it's easy to just ignore the problems. Like for some people or some parents, like it's a lot easier to ignore it and pretend that it doesn't exist than to like have to deal with it and have to accept that like something's going on.
Yeah.
But I don't think a lot of it's purposeful. I don't think people think that they're hurting their kids with ignoring the mental health problems. I think that like they don't know like either like enough about their kids to like realize, I guess, or they don't know enough about like the mental health just in general to just think about it. Because uh sorry, I dropped my cards.
It's alright.
For me, like yeah, I have digit cards, and for me, like there's a difference between like mental health struggles and just like something that isn't my fault and I can't deal with it. And it's like there's you can't for me I can't just tell my parents it's not my fault that I am dealing with this, because like it's still on me, and for a lot of people it's not easy to empathize with someone who's going through something completely different. I hope
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah. I guess you said. You can't always blame your parents, but when they can't really accept of you making a mistake, they can. They don't. How should I say?
It's easy to not take responsibility for them, I guess.
Yeah. I guess you'd say that. Yeah. You wanna bring anything else up?
um I feel like with like mental health, I guess I'm glad a lot of it's getting like destigmatized and more information is about it, but like with that it's worrying seeing like at my school, I guess I'm in a small school, but even that, like a lot of us are like stressed or have struggled at some point throughout high school really badly, and I feel like people need to worry about that more, because like it's it's not good for like an entire generation of people to just be going through this much stress and this much like anxiety about things that they can't control, really. I
Yeah. It's also
hope that made sense.
things we can control. but we just choose not to. Like some people, my age, they're ready to drink, they're ready to smoke, they, do many of these stuff. I guess you could say there's like the way this generation is going, with the things that we're doing and the things that we are expected to do. I don't think, well, I'm not saying, I don't see really us going that far to those people who are making these bad decisions,
There needs to be
because
more resources for them.
yeah, there needs, I guess you could say that there needs to be someone who can not always hold their hand, but someone who could help them push themselves, or help them at least get out of a tiny hole, and it's not really good for. But
Or left out
uh,
lives into.
yeah, I guess you could say that, and try to give them a hand, and try to help them as much as they can, because mental health is something that we need to focus on. America is always America's a weird place, I guess you could say. Like, there's this poem at school that we read. It's called "Making Love to Captain America," and
That's a title, but um,
yeah, that's the title, right? Yeah, the poem called "Making Love to Captain America," right? And it's using representation. I guess it's representing Captain America as the U.S. And so this there's one quote that says, or what I saw the poem as is, here I'll read a line of it. There's one when I said that this author, it was written this last year in 2022 by, I think it was Latina, or colored. It was written by a colored woman, and she's using Captain America as a representation of the U.S. And she is talking about how she loves Captain America, or how she loves America, but she wants to change some things about him. Like, America could be fun in some ways. Like, I guess I could take the smallest part, like, I don't know, Disneyland, something, food. But we gotta change, or there gotta be a change in America. For example, like, there's one quote that says, "Will you destroy my enemies as easily as you do your own?" Which for me is just saying that instead of America focus on outside, fighting other people outside of the country, they could focus on the bad people, I guess you could say, or
the people in bad situations, because
yeah,
it's less.
or people who need help in this country, instead of focusing on outside. It could be the mental health. It could be on the homelessness. It could be like the climate change within our country. That's what is there's so many things that this generation overall, or these years, that has become really impactful, and that we got to focus on so many things now, on the to help people and to help succeed, because young people, I guess you could say, will be the voices of the future. They're going to choose these decisions that are, they can't, like, social media maybe impact them, and, like, the other things around them help them into mental health, and it may impact the future.
Um, yeah, I feel like I love a lot about like this country and where I've been and where I've lived, but like there's a lot of glaring issues that like I feel like we do need to focus on, especially with just like mental health in general, and like there's so many big issue problems, and we're not focusing on any of the ones that matter to like not just survive, but just like I hate talking about stuff like this, but like instead of just like focusing only on like how my dog's barking at sleep, like focusing on you mentioned like the outside world. Instead of that, we should also focus on like the communities, I guess, of people. Like
Mm-hmm.
you can help your own community, but like there's only a certain extent you can do until like you just can't do anymore. And I feel like I love helping my community, and like I do volunteering a lot with like, especially not me, because I spend a lot of my time there, but like I do like volunteering, I do like helping out, but I feel like there's only so much that I can do as a person, and there's only so much that we can do as a community to help the people, I guess.
Yeah. So, is there anything else you want to say?
I think
No?
that's all.
Alright, sure.
Do we have a
Thank you.
catchphrase for the podcast? I
Do I have
haven't
a
watched in a
catchphrase?
while.
I don't got one. I might have to think of one. So, thank you, Angel, for being in this podcast, in this episode. And, just people out there, if you're struggling,
You're not alone?
you're not alone. Struggling, I guess you could say, is part of the path. You ruined my outro. Come on, you ruined the moment.
I'm sorry. My psychology alarm went off.
All right.
All right.
See, you ruined it. Come on. All right. Struggle. Oh my god, struggling is part of the path. It's part of life, I guess you could say. And try to be yourself. And mental health is something. If you're stressed, you're not. Now you're not alone. But try. If someone, try to
Reach out.
reach out. Try to find ways to try to lower that negative mindset. And yeah, America is just weird. So, Angel, thank you for being on this podcast.
Yeah. My pleasure.
Thank you,
That is
everyone.
something you're supposed to say, right?
I guess you could say that.
Hopefully, I'm not
And
insulting anyone.
no, you're not. And for the people out there, thank you for tuning in. And I'm looking forward to, have more guests, hosting more. And I don't know, probably hang out with Angel sometime.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, it's been great. Have a good day. I'm gonna go eat some broccoli or something.
The Taking Off the Mask podcast is produced by Ryan Louie. Graphics are by Kelly Wong. And a special thanks to the team at Ever Forward, Vanessa Cortez and Choque Allen Alvarez. We'd like to thank everyone who's been a part of the creation of this podcast as we cross the 100th episode milestone and begin the work to the next 100. We hope that everyone who's been a part knows that they're a part of the Taking Off the Mask family. And we look forward to you being a part of it as well. If you like what you heard today, please subscribe, write a 5-star review, and share, as we look forward to continuing to have conversations that matter. Stay tuned for the relaunch of the Million Mask Movement on 11/11/22. That's November 11th of 2022. There's a math problem in there. You can find out more by visiting everforwardclub.org and following us on social media. Take care, and we'll see you soon.